Good day, everyone. I am Arlan Riego.
I am Sarah J. Machete.
I am Christina Melaya.
I am Risa Oliveria together with Ms. Rica Velasquez.
We are the Group 13 and we are going to present our research paper which entitled
Impacts of COVID-19
to Meetings
Incentives,
Conference
An exhibition
or mass tourism in the municipality of Pinamalayan. To start our presentation, I'm going to discuss the content of our introduction. So in this introduction, we used an inverted triangle pattern for the ideas that we want to include in our study. So to start, we define what is tourism. Of course, this states that tourism is a very dynamic industry which offers different opportunities and services. Next to that is the importance of tourism, which clearly tells that it's not only a provider of services and opportunities, but also contributions in all different countries around the world, most especially in terms of our economic growth. After that, we already put the start of the spread of novel coronavirus or the COVID-19 which leads to global pandemic. And of course, to continue, we define how it affects the tourism industry, which mainly caused its sectors to be curtailed and even stop some of our major activities. To make it reach our target community, we also define its effects from the global tourism to the Philippines, MICE tourism in Oriental Mindoro, and of course, the urging point why we want to conduct a research study in a specific municipality in the province, which is the municipality of Pinamalayan.
So in relation to this introduction, our research also discusses about the variables which has two types, and those are the independent and dependent variable. So in this research, we have our independent variable, which is the COVID-19 pandemic, which serve as the cause and the starting point of the issue or problem, while the dependent variable or our expected effect are the impacts to MICE tourism to the municipality of Pinamalayan, meaning to say this will be the response or outcome variable of our research.
Aside from that, this research has also its scope or its limitation for conducting. As a matter of fact, this study will just focus only in the municipality of Pinamalayan, and our target respondents are the 8 hotels in this area.
So let's now proceed to the objectives of the study. First and foremost, of course, we would like to know the impacts of COVID-19 in MICE tourism in the municipality of Pinamalayan. So to be specific, this study would like to answer and assess certain issues because we all know that in this present place, this pandemic has caused all different tourism sectors, and one of the most affected sectors is the MICE. Aside from that, of course, we are also going to know the challenges being faced by the hotel managers. They will be the one to be asked since they are the concerned, most responsible, and has the capability to answer all our questions. And of course, after that, as a researchers, we would like to propose strategies for that issue and problems they are now facing.
So for the next part of our research paper, we have the methods and materials. Of course, as what our paper says, we will be using two methods which are qualitative and quantitative method. In terms of our respondents, 8 hotels operating and offering MICE tourism for a period of 3 years from 2019 to 2021 will be our target. We as researchers believe that they can be the one to give right data and information about our problem. So in order for us to gather data, we will be using questionnaire and interview for their additional information. Well, for our secondary data, we also included facts from different related literatures which will support our gathered information.
In addition to this, we are going to use a frequency percentage, which is a type of tool which can calculate the percentage of all the answers of our respondents. After that, we are going to get the weighted mean for each question using the weighted mean formula and rank them from greatest to least in order for us to determine which statement or case has severely impacted the MICE tourism in Pinamalayan. Aside from that, we are going to use tables and figures for us to present our analyzed data in a very clear presentation. And of course, content analysis will also be used in this research for the qualitative data. Through this method, we will be more able to analyze all the information that was given by the hotel managers of our hotel respondents. Also, this will help us to relate their gathered information to support the gathered data in the survey.
So let us now proceed to our survey questionnaire. As you can see, we have 5 columns, and those columns includes the statement of impacts of COVID-19 pandemic and the stand of our respondents, which either be strongly disagree, disagree, agree, and strongly agree. In order for them to show their stand, they are going to put a check for their answer. And by means of those answers, we'll be able to gather the data. So for our first statement, it says COVID-19 has created conditions that impact on the lives, forcing social behavioral changes on societies. Dito po malalaman natin na kung paano nakakaapekto sa way of life ng tao ang COVID-19 pandemic, hindi lang sa tourism. Like for example, because of COVID-19, naging limited na yung mga outdoor activities nilang ginagawa noon dahil hindi na nga safe sa labas katulad ng pag-book sa hotels. For our next statement, it says MICE consumers in Pinamalayan have been seriously curtailed by the pandemic. Yung mga consumers ng MICE ay napigilan lahat dahil sa pandemic. Like for example, from customers up to the staff, yung iba nawalan na ng chance na makapunta or makapag-book sa hotels. Kahit yung mga staff na nagkakandak ng MICE, hindi na pwedeng gawin yung mga ibang event and nawalan na din ng ibang work yung ibang staff.
So for our third statement, it says that our hotel expectation of the right to unfiltered mobility across national border has been severely challenged by government response to COVID-19. Ibig sabihin nito, ang mismong policy ng government ay nakaapekto sa mga hotel. For example, bawal magpapasok ng turista sa Pilipinas. Kaya't ang mga turista na dapat pupunta sa Pinamalayan at magpapabook sa mga hotel ay hindi na matutuloy. Nangangahulugan din na magkakaroon ng kabawasan sa kita. So, for our fourth statement, it says that closure to attraction and tourism facilities has negatively affected the MICE tourism. Nangangahulugan po itong ang pagsasara ng mga facilities na inclined sa ating industry, gayon din sa ating mga attraction ay lubhang nakaapekto sa MICE tourism.
So for our fifth statement, closure of national borders has curtailed movement, reducing and totally eliminating MICE consumers. Nangangahulugan po na ang panandaliang pagsasara ng ating bansa ay nakaapekto sa performance ng MICE tourism, especially sa mga consumers na meron tayo sa ating industry. Halimbawa po, ang lockdown natin nationally na nagpatigil sa travel and accommodation activities. And for our sixth statement, confinement to place of residence and penalties for non-compliance has reduced the MICE tourism in our hotel. Ibig sabihin nito, dahil sa pagpapatupad ng mga lockdown, nababawasan din yung kita ng hotel at nare-reduce yung MICE tourism. Halimbawa, hindi na pwedeng pumunta sa Pinamalayan dahil lockdown, so ang mga tourist na walang matuluyan ay hindi na makakapag-book sa hotel dahil sa pagkakasara ng mga ito. So nagkaroon ng reduce sa MICE tourism at nabawasan din yung kita nila.
For our seventh statement, it says, virtual events mainly serve as a good substitute for recession-prone exhibitors and attendees during COVID-19. Nangangahulugan po na nagkaroon ng panibagong pamamaraan sa kung paano makakapag-conduct ng event sa panahon ng pandemic, at ito ay sa pamamagitan ng technology or ang tinatawag nga nating virtual events. And for our last statement, it says, restrictions on right to visit friends and family has negatively impacted the MICE tourism. Nangangahulugan po ito na ang limited na pagbiyahe o restriction sa pagbisita natin maaring sa pamilya or kaibigan ay nagkaroon din ng epekto sa MICE tourism.
Going to the next part of our survey questionnaire, we have 2 questions which will serve as an interview to all hotel managers of our hotel respondents. These questions will determine the challenges being faced by the hotel managers during pandemic and what are the mechanisms they've done to cope up from those challenges. Those information will serve as our qualitative data. And for our references, we used web pages and news articles as our sources for other related studies we've used to support our paper. In these references, we used an APA format.